I mean, but if we have to watch together, we will. I'll just try not to say what I'm writing we're talking about. All right. Whenever you're ready. I'll be wearing I'm wearing Friday the 13th shit.
And I'm not.
You're not about that life, sir. That's what it is.
I am about that life.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Street cred.
From the movie, too.
Hey guys, welcome back to Lost Legend TV. We are
Rated MC.
And today we're talking about slashing some titties.
What a slam! Bring us back to you, grouches. My crew just might roll on you like TV.
There's people that were commenting like the fact that we were ranking videos, but we didn't really ever talk about the movies specifically.
Yeah.
So we decided we're going to start trying to do that. But what we're going to do is we're going to look at reboots of movies first, and we're going to start with Friday the 13th, the 2009. We both watched this again. It's been several years. Like when we ranked it with Scoob, I ain't
seen it in years.
Exactly. I hadn't seen it in a long time. I was basically just going off of memory.
Mm-hmm.
And looking back, I remember some things that are different that are not how it happened when we said it in the video. But it was just because it had been so long since I've seen the movie. So I went back and we watched it, and we both just took notes.
Before this, what we had Freddy vs. Jason, right?
Mm-hmm.
What was your opinion about Freddy vs. Jason?
Overall?
Mm-hmm.
So it's been a long time since I've seen it, but I did not mind the movie. It's not like a classic or anything like that. It's not something I'd be like, you have to go watch. Because the final fight scene is amazing. The acting is fucking awful.
Yes.
Like, terrible.
What was that? That was 2003, right?
Yeah.
So 6 years later, Paramount finally got their hands on it. And after doing research on this, I discovered that 2 of the writers from Freddy vs. Jason actually wrote this film.
Nice. And
it was also produced by Michael Bay. Out of all people.
Which is crazy because there was no explosions.
I know. And I have a love-hate for Michael Bay. I mean, I love Michael Bay, but at the same time,
can't stand him.
God, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
sometimes he does too much.
There's some scenes in the film where the way it's lit and the cinematography, you can tell it has a Michael Bay feel. And some parts that really works, and some parts it just looks like Michael Bay. Sean S. Cunningham, he came back for this, and he was the producer or the director from the very original one. So I really like how they summed it up, parts 1, 2, and 3, basically, relatively quick. I'm glad they didn't spend 45 minutes on a backstory. This is Jason. This is Crystal Lake. We really don't need a backstory.
Well, see, here's the. I would have been okay if they had done it, but I would have rather that been the whole movie if they were going to do that.
I'm really glad they included Baghead Jason.
Yes,
I will say the opening with Baghead Jason is one of the most badass introductions to a film I've ever seen.
It's amazing.
It is fucking phenomenal. I wouldn't have mind. I'm glad Jason got the hockey mask, but the Baghead Jason, he looks fucking awesome. Mm-hmm. Just staring at that man gives you the chills. You know?
You that motherfucker been stealing all the kerosene and shit?
I don't think Jason would let someone close enough to the camp to plant marijuana. That's the whole plot at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, I will agree with that. Having a main focal point about weed, I found that kind of like a turnoff, like a buzzkill.
Yeah. So that's the thing. That just didn't make any sense to me because, for one, it's so close to the camp. Mm-hmm. I don't think anyone's getting that close to where they're gonna plant fucking weed that close to it. You know what I mean? Especially if he's been running through people this whole fucking time since he's been growing up.
Jason the plug, bro.
I don't think that's what happened. Wade knew the backstory of Jason, but how?
Yeah, especially when he pointed out that Jason watched.
How did you know that?
No.
I'd have been okay if he did explain the whole murder and everything, the mom doing that stuff. That's fine. That's stories you get passed down. How the hell did you know that Jason was watching? When Wade dies, he's looking at the weed, right? And then Jason, he just looks up and Jason's there. That's cool. That was freaky. And then Jason charges at him and swings. And you think, okay, well, he just got cut in half or cut his head. Something. It comes back, and I paused it at the right moment when he was looking at Wade. All that happened was Wade lost his ear. something we both can agree on was the sleeping bag over the fire kill.
Yes,
awesome.
Fucking brutal. Like,
fucking loved it.
Just like when she falls, you can see like fucking like steam coming out of her mouth. Like she basically burned from the inside up. Like that, I think that might actually be worse than a quick fire death.
Yeah.
You know? Oh, and I love how Backhead Jason used the bear trap.
Oh, that was literally my next point. Not even the fact that he used the bear trap, because that's like how they do it in the game and everything, and I'm sure they took that from this.
Yeah.
But the placement of it was amazing, because I mean, he's obviously not gonna look on the ground at this point. He sees his girl hanging asleep. He has to know it's her. He's sprinting and immediately steps in that motherfucking bear trap. Perfect placement. Fucking love that shit. The running kill that Jason does to him while Whitney's trying to get him out of the trap was nice too. Like, there's a lot of really good stuff that happens.
Right down the middle, bro.
The running attack on Whitney makes no sense.
No, it made no sense.
Because she didn't die. Now, this is like watching it for the first time.
She's literally untouched.
Exactly. You know? Like, it's not even like there's like a cut on her arm or anything.
I remember watching this in theaters in 2009 when it came out. And my little reaction, like, when that happened, I was like, oh, shit, this is fucking awesome, you know?
That was dope. And then you start watching the movie like, oh, okay. What's the
disregard that? Like I said, the opening's badass. The acting from there was kind of a buzzkill for me. It was kind of lazy. And I had to be partial to Jared Padalecki because he plays in my favorite show, Supernatural.
Yeah.
But his acting is in here, I have to commend him for. Anything other than that is just like really cliche and kind of disposable.
Like
I had Chewie, who was just fucked up the whole time. You had like the black dude,
Lawrence,
and he was just fucked up the whole time.
It wasn't even that he was fucked up. Like at first he was just making a bunch of like, you thought he was gonna be like a socially conscious character because I was gonna make the one black guy do your stuff, and then like, oh, because I'm black I do the hill. But like he basically just after that moment he basically just turned into the stereotypical character.
Him and the other girl was talking about the label. He's like, what? Just because I'm black, I can't listen to Green Day?
Yeah,
She's
exactly.
like, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm right. What kind of music are you going to do?
Rap. Exactly.
Like, from that point, like, he was a likable character. But after that, it's just like, I don't know. Like, they forgot about him.
All right. So, again, going back to the story, Trent is a dick.
Trent in this film also played Trent in Transformers.
Yeah. That character can only play one dude. He can play Trent. But why bring people to your cabin, your parents' cabin, if you're not going to let them do anything? Like, the moment he gets them there, they get into the cabin, like, he starts shutting shit down. And what? Don't spill that. Don't touch that. Don't put your foot. What was the point of bringing it there? Like, normally when, like, people bring people over to a house party in any kind of horror situation, no fucks are given unless it's, like the daughter or whatever of the people. Then normally she's like, no, don't mess with my stuff. But this dude was like I wouldn't expect that from him.
Another thing is, if that house was so close to the camp, why has that never been attacked before?
I literally had that next. How come it was never attacked by Jason? Never. They said that's his parents' cabin. So it means they've had it since they probably had it a minute.
You know?
They've had it a minute, and he's never attacked that. And the dude in the barn that had the wood chipper and everything.
Oh, yeah.
That dude is too much. he was licking the magazine. Like,
rubbing up on a fucking mannequin.
He was talking to the mannequin like it was his first time.
Hey, Gina.
What?
How do you feel about them humanizing Jason in this one?
I personally don't mind it. Him setting traps, especially like noise traps, is smart. Because like I know where they're at. That makes more sense. Like, you now know how Jason was getting around the places, and then he had the whole tunnel up under the, so it wasn't just him disappearing and reappearing in places. He had stuff set up. Like, he turned on the field lights and so he could see where people are at. That makes a lot of sense to me.
The main thing I think people don't like about this movie is that how they made him like a more human and like a survivalist type. I love that.
Yeah.
Because, like, this takes me back to, like, part 2, 3, and 4, which is...
He was basically...
It was our top 3, not in that order. And to me, that makes it more scary. That makes it more real. Because, like, 2, 3, and 4, Baghead, and then, like, he dies. But, like, even in part 4, he's still kind of human. Like, he still gets injured. To have a real guy, like, not to discredit, like, Kane Hodder or C.J. Graham, But you know, in those movies, hell, he's already fucking dead.
Yeah.
He's walking. He's a fucking zombie.
Yeah.
And like that is badass, but it's nice to see them go back and try to reinvent Jason. I really loved it.
The scene I want to talk about is their sex scene because I don't know if you noticed it, but for some reason, multiple times, Trent just kept talking about her titties. Like, that's all he was talking about. Like, he called him stupendous, and then he just kept running, like, your tits are amazing. Like,
He's a win in the titty contest.
Right?
Found a scene with the old woman. Remember that? I found that really unnecessary.
It was.
Because, like, if the old woman was referencing Jason like that, and, like, the whole town knew, but nobody could, I mean, like, you later discover that, you know, the bodies are in the tunnel and all that. But I just felt like if the whole town knows about it, realistically, it's not going to happen. You know?
It seemed like they were just all fucking terrified, like they know it's Jason, but we're not going to do anything about it. So if y'all come here, y'all just going to die. I mean, that's on you.
Because, like, apparently Jason has a resume in this movie.
Nolan was one of the dudes in there, the guy that took the boat. His death came out of nowhere to me. Like, not that I wasn't expecting him to die. I just wasn't expecting him to die right then when he did.
With Jason with a bow and arrow?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's a cool ass kill and shit. And I'm not hating on that at all. What I'm saying is, like, literally all what happened, and like I said, another scene where they're over sexualizing it. Why was she topless? Like, she's riding on the little thing. Like, why was she topless for that? Didn't make no sense to me. But so he's driving it. She falls off. He's like, yeah, and then an arrow through the fucking skull. There was no like hit at Jason loading the bow up or anything. He just dead. And then
He lands on the fucking pedal and makes it the fucking zoom and hit her head. Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I liked it. There was a lot of kills in this that really weren't that gory and everything. That's still fine with me. Another time when they over sexualized was that girl's death. I don't remember her name anymore. But when he stabbed her in the head and pulled her up so you can see her titties.
Yeah.
And I thought Chu's death was fucking stupid. Not like how he died, the fact of what he was doing.
It was lazy.
It was lazy.
But I really did like the strobe light effect.
Yeah.
That they did in there. That's one of the things that I wrote down. Like, it's cinematically, it looked good. But the kill itself, lazy. Lawrence's death. How he was baiting him.
I was believe that. That was, the axe throw was really cool. Like, yeah. That was really cool. It was just like, I didn't think he was going to do it like that. I thought he was going to like one-hand that bitch or something. Or just like hawk him down and take him down. But he didn't. You know, like he threw it. Realistically, I don't know if he'd actually landed that, but it's still pretty cool that he did it. So he hits Lawrence in the back, and Lawrence is just screaming, and everyone pretty much react like Clay reacts how I would have reacted in that situation. Yeah, that wasn't even his friend, but I can't go out there to save you. I'm gonna be real. Like, if it was you, I'm sorry, bro. I can't go out there. Scream all you want, so I really can't. If we know there's a killer out there, I can't do it.
Baiting you.
Yeah, he's baiting me. He's literally doing that.
Even though he ends up in the house anyway.
And then Bree starts fucking losing her mind. Most of the time, in situations where a cop shows up in a horror movie, he opens the door, talks to the people, and he'll be like, all right, well, come on, let's go out here and talk. And whenever he turns around, he gets murdered. Fucking bow and arrow through the eye.
It was
was it a spike?
It was like a steel spike. And that's one of the, like, I'm not sure if it's an actual Easter egg, but like, if you remember part 3 where that fucking dude's head gets squeezed and the eyeball pops out.
Yeah, I like that.
I think that was a nod to it.
I think that was a nod to it.
And also, I think the steel spike was a nod to part 6.
At least in this one, I thought maybe if you shoot him, he could do something. You could do some damage because he really seemed human-esque in this. You know what I mean? But once he dropped the gun, lost it, and then he got to the road, I knew Jason wasn't driving that fucking truck.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, when I first watched it, I was like, there's something suspicious about that truck. It turned out it was just an old man. Yeah. But he swerved and like everything was calm and all you see is his hand. It was weird, you know? Yeah. They were just an old man.
But since that, I wouldn't have thought Jason was driving that truck for nothing. You know what I mean?
In the back of my mind, like when I first watched it, I'm like, no, there ain't no fucking way they're going to do this.
Exactly.
Jason has a truck.
Exactly. You know? How the fuck did he learn to drive? It's kind of like with Michael Myers and Halloween. How the fuck did he learn to drive?
For when they was traveling the tunnel and they found Whitney, on the wall, this is another Easter egg, there was a wheelchair on the wall.
Oh, yeah.
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 Part 2 Easter egg.
The Jenna death was so unexpected.
Yes.
It was a nice kill and everything. I was not expecting her to die. At least not in that moment. I felt like if any of those three were going to die, it was going to be Clay.
I thought he would die heroically, and one of the girls, because like you always have a main girl survive Friday.
That's what I thought would happen.
Like she's a likable character in this,
She is.
and like you didn't. She's one of the ones like you're always rooting for Jason to kill motherfuckers.
Yeah.
But she's like one of the ones that you did not want to see die out of nowhere.
Or at least if she dies, like I thought she would last to the second version of it, because back at the time, I figured we were going to make another one. If you look at the Rotten Tomatoes, it's pretty low. So I thought, maybe they just didn't really like it.
Well, man, like I love this movie. No, it's not. I love this movie just as bad as I hate it. That's the problem. Like it's so good, but man, is it in some parts it's so bad.
Mm-hmm. I like the kill they did to Jason. I like how it was different.
With the wood chipper and the chain.
Yeah, I liked that they try to incorporate something kind of different.
I really did like it, but man, if I was in that situation, I would have lifted that man's legs up all the way in. You know what I'm saying?
Why dump his body in the lake? Realistically, I'm leaving.
Well, I agree with you. Like, why would you stay and take the kill and dump him in the lake? What do you feel sorry for him?
I'm saying, realistically, if we're in that situation and we just put this man in that wood chipper and he's fucking dying,
we're gonna fuck out of Dodge.
We're fucking leaving. Yeah, I'm not staying around or nothing.
And they stayed around till it was daylight. But I took that as an Easter egg as well, because in both Freddy vs. Jason and this one, he gets thrown into the lake with an object, and he comes back up with it.
Yeah.
So I took that, because I went back and watched the ending to Friday 2009 and Freddy vs. Jason, and it's done almost identically. And I think that comes from the writers who was Freddy vs. Jason.
Yeah. And technically that didn't kill him, because I threw him in the water and he still jumped out of the water. So was he supernatural? Like, what was the whole thing with that?
My last Easter egg that I saw was at the ending again. I mean, if you watch Jason X when he fucking goes into like a fucking into Earth, I guess, you see Jason X's mask in the water. If you take, because it showed the same, picture perfect. It was symmetrical how Jason's mask in this one. It fell the same way. The angle was the same. The water was the same color. Mm-hmm. That was an Easter egg to Jason X.
Yeah.
But I do agree that the ambiguous ending, I do like it, but now we're not going to get a sequel.
Yeah.
And
even if we do get another movie, like I said, it's not going to be a sequel to this, because I always find it weird when they do make sequels to movies way after the fact. Just seems...
It's been over 10. It's been 11 years.
You know what I mean? They can do it because people have done it before. Like, if you look at The Incredibles, they did that 14 years later. Dumb and Dumber did it. You know what I mean? There's movies that they waited a long time before they made a sequel. It's just...
It'll be hard for continuity, though.
Exactly. It'd just be kind of weird to do that. I feel like if they end up doing it after the lawsuit, it's going to be a whole new take on it.
Why do you have to reboot a franchise so many times? I hate that.
Well, the only reason I can take it, it's not even for a money aspect, is you gotta think of how people reacted to the movies recently. You know what I mean?
I feel like this movie here, I felt like it was a really solid entry into the franchise. Mm-hmm. The only downfall was I feel like it didn't contribute to the franchise.
Yeah, it didn't.
But this is one of the many, and many ones that I would actually like to saw a sequel to. Because you can go so many places. Back with Clay, Whitney. Hell, you can even go off of the final girl from the opening credits. 30 years later, where's she at?
Exactly.
There's so many places you could go.
Like I said, with the reboot, the first reboot is mostly because of money. Because the first ones made really a lot of money, so why not try to capitalize on that?
But why? This movie isn't horrible.
It's not.
I do feel like it's good enough to... You could have made a sequel off of it. And if you capitalize on what was wrong in the first one, you can make a better sequel. Well, overall, I had fun with the movie,
Like
That's what matters.
there are a lot of things in this movie that's not good, but you can basically look at almost any horror franchise and get the same reaction. There's gonna be a movie you're gonna find where like there's some good stuff, but then there's some just like, why did you do this?
Yeah. So if I had to rate the movie, when it comes crashing down,
We're doing
Yeah,
out of
hurts
5 or
inside.
10. We're doing 10.
I like doing 10.
Okay. Because we kind of rated semi-high.
I think I'm part of the minority here because, like, I actually like this movie. To me, I mean, it ranks up there. I mean, not like, the greatest, but.
Okay, it's because it's not as good as 4.
No.
It's not as good as 1 or 2 or 3.
Out of 10, I'll give it a solid 6.
I'd probably go 6 as well. Again, it's not awful.
5 being an average movie.
Yeah, under 5 it means it was a bad movie. But so 6, it's decent. It's not something I'm like, oh my god, you need to go watch this movie. If you watch it, you watch it. It's okay. There are a lot of things that just the acting really isn't terrible. Honestly,
Like, if they would have kept the same energy and time as the opening,
yeah, that would have been a lot better.
I mean, you could have ran with it. I think
Yeah.
it would have been a lot better.
But that's our review of the film. Like I said, if y'all want us to go on another one, it can be from the same Friday the 13th franchise. It can be from Nightmare on Elm Street, any horror film you want to watch. Or if there's just another movie in general you just really want to hear us talk about, we'll do that.
Yep.
Just drop it in the comments. But for now, that's what we all. So, deuces.
Adios.
Come on, big guy. Let me roll you a fan.